So I ended up, I went to Stout, I got my bachelor's degree there, I got my master's degree there. So I graduated in 64 and 65. 1965, I taught school in St. Paul, Minnesota, 9th grade. And the following spring, 66, I had been notified for the umpteenth time to report for the draft.
Like I knew I wanted to be a nurse, but I wanted to go to a 3-year program. And Grandpa said, you know, right now, the way things are changing and evolving in medicine, a 4-year program, a bachelor's degree in nursing, is what's going to be needed. You need to be thinking about this. And I was just scared. I was scared to go to college. So I thought about it for a while, and you know, I'm glad I did. So I committed to it, and it was pretty scary for me. But I'm glad he did that. The first time I ever saw Dad was before we met in that group. He was at the bar, leaning on the bar, talking to people. But he was a good listener. You could just tell people were talking to him. He was listening, and he just seemed attentive to people. You know, I just thought, this seems like a nice person. You know, just one of those quick things, and then you go on to do whatever else you were doing.
What was your first impression of Mom?
Careful.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
I've never asked him that question.
I wasn't looking to settle down or anything like that.
Was I asking?
No.
All right.
And so I thought she was very, very nice, and I know there were evidently a couple times, I don't know, but I'm told there were a couple times and we had a date and I didn't show up.
Yeah.
I think.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's sad is he would park his car near my window, and so one Saturday we were supposed to have a date and go to Milwaukee, and just hang out, whatever. So I actually went and bought a new outfit for this. So we get married like a year later, and first time I put this outfit on, he says, "Oh, I really like that. Is that new?" And I said, No, I bought it. I bought it to go on a date that you never showed up for. He said, "Really? I never showed up?" Yeah. I was going home for Christmas, and so you said, "Well, come out and have dinner with us." So I went out to the farm to have dinner with Dad and Lou and Mike, and then he said, and BJ. Oh, BJ, yeah. And so we decided to ride the horses over to this bar. And so your father knows how to ride a horse, not me. So.
Well, it was very heavy snow.
It was.
And
give me an excuse.
Well, as we made a right turn to go back into our property, our 80 acres, the horse decided that it knew where it was and wanted to take off and go to the barn. And so the horse started galloping, and it made a real sharp move to, I believe, the left, and Kathy
went to the right, to the snowbank.
So she went headfirst into the snow, and I was laughing pretty hard.
He was. What a stupid man. He was laughing.
But that was the night that she was leaving to go home to her parents.
So then a week later is when Dad called up, and he just said, I'd like you to come back and leave from the farm, leave from here. And it's when I just said to my parents that I'd like to do that, and I did. I took the bus to the base.
That's right.
And so I'm in the doorway of the bus, and I could see Dad.
On base?
On base, yeah. I could see Dad, and I just stepped off the bus. I missed the 3 steps. Because I was a little excited. Because when somebody says you come here to leave,
so her nylons were
oh my God,
full of holes.
I had trouble with
hitting the asphalt.
Yeah, I was bloody. So we get to the farm, we walk in, and Mike Jackson looks at me and he says, "What the hell? You never change." It's like, this is my big exciting moment, and I'm just a mess all over the place. You know.
I had to have a couple wisdom teeth extracted on the left side of my jaw, and
so
the one was impacted.
Yeah, he had to go to the dentist.
I was just dying.
So he was tired. He was hurting. His face was all swollen up. And so we get to the airport. And he just opened up the door. You know, so I couldn't even kiss him goodbye. It's like, oh, okay, bye. We had been sending tapes back and forth and stuff, right? And some cards and lots of wonderful, beautiful letters. But all of a sudden, I get a St. Patrick's Day card, a very silly one, and it asked me to marry him. Okay. So I thought about it, and I decided, yes, I wanted to do this. So I got a hold of the sergeants and Marine Corps sergeants in the communication comm area, and I asked them to put a call through to Dad so that I could say yes to him. Well, I was awakened at 3 in the morning. They were ready, the call had gone through. So I'm out in the hallway, or the passageway, on this silly phone, and Dad couldn't hear me, but I'm talking to the sergeants. The sergeants are relaying it to this lady in Seattle, and she's relaying it to Dad, who was in Great Lakes. So I never talked to him, but the message that I wanted to marry him got through to him. But that night, I got a message that there was a phone call from Dad. And I thought, why would he be calling me? So it turns out that the sergeants in the shack put a call through to Dad because the first one wasn't good enough, so they wanted me to be able to speak to him. So we were able to talk, you know, person to person, which was really great. You have to say over and stop and all this kind of jazz.
One thing that I did have to do the day before the wedding, I did drive our car, which was an El Camino. I drove that down and parked it in the parking lot for the hotel where we were going to spend our first night. And I had to hide the car so that nobody knew where it was. I didn't want it damaged.
Because
I pulled pranks on all of my friends.
He was horrible to all of his friends.
What are you most proud of, and what would you want to be remembered for?
Family.
Yeah, family.